Westplex Talk 104.5.
Brad talks to lots of people. Here's another segment of Brad Talks.
And we're doing something a little bit interesting this morning, or interesting, different. We're doing a live Brad Talks, and I have a guest this morning, and we're going to cross our fingers, see if this all works. Bridgette Childress, are you there? Sign in, please.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Wow, amazing. This is going to work. Okay.
I love it.
This is actually a live Brad Talks and doing something interesting. Should I set the scene of how you and I have come together, be on the air on this Wednesday morning, Bridgette?
Go for it.
We are both in the Friday networking group, which is an excellent networking group. By the way, if you would like to visit, you're more than happy. It meets every Friday morning. It makes sense. A Friday networking group doesn't meet on Monday. Every Friday morning at 9 o'clock at the Rack House restaurant in Cottleville. If you know where that's at, it's right down the street from Francis House Central. It's on Highway N. If you know the area out there, if you're on Central School Road, once you cross over, Mid Rivers Mall turns into Highway N, and then you go down into downtown Cottleville. Every Friday morning, 9 to 10:30, you can come as a guest. It is a networking group. It is a group where people get together to help each other promote their businesses. And a little bit different than some networking groups, there is no product exclusivity. So in other words, you could, and matter of fact, we do have, Bridgette, I think in the last week we had 3 Edward Jones people there, wasn't it? Last week, 3?
Yes.
Right. And there's always a bunch of different people. Now, let's get into what you do. So let me finish up by saying, so what I said last Friday was, I said, hey, I'm going to try something new on my radio station, at least on Westplex Talk. And who would like to be on the air with me and do a segment on the air live? And Bridgette contacted me and texted me and, shall we say, made it to the point very obvious to me that you really wanted to do this, didn't you?
Yes. I mean, seriously, this is like being a kid again. This is so fun.
Okay. Now, let's give your background because of the fact that when you're in the group, first off, you're a registered nurse, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Now, I always do this when I do the Brad Talks. We find out a little bit about you. Are you, if I say to you, what high school did you go to? Does that make any sense?
Oh, absolutely. Can I answer you?
Oh, yeah. What high school did you go to? So you're local then, right?
I'm local. Yeah, McClure North. So I grew up in Florissant.
McClure North. You're a North County girl, huh?
I'm a Stars. Yeah.
You know, I'm a North County boy, so we have that in common. And for those of you who know the area, McClure North came online, 75, 76, something like that?
Yeah, I think because my friend Linda, her older brother was the first graduating class. And yeah, I think it was 75 or 76.
Yeah. And McClure High School right there on 270. You can't miss it as you drive by. It's just to the south of 270 between Florissant Road and Washington Elizabeth. McClure North is on the north side of 270. So you grew up in Florissant, graduated from McClure North High School, then on to nursing school right away?
No, I didn't. You know what? I was one of those that I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I actually went to UMSL for education. I got as far as, student teaching, and I was like, oh, this is not for me. So I actually, too, I married young and had 2 children from my first marriage, and that obviously didn't work out. And so now I'm married to my best friend, and we have another, my third, his first. So I have a total of 3 kids, almost an empty nester.
Almost an empty nester? And you're not that old, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm 55.
Well, how old are your kids?
My oldest is, he'll be 28 in October. And then my daughter is 20, she'll be 25 this week. And then Adam is a senior. He's 17.
Interesting. So you went to UMSL to become a teacher, and you said you actually did the student teaching. Was doing the student teaching the thing that said, I don't want to do this?
Yes, absolutely.
Really? Was it? Seriously? To the point where you became a student teacher, you said, not for me?
Yeah. I just, I've always had a servant heart. Like I knew I was going to do something in some capacity that was going to be able to serve others and help people. But yeah, I just, again, like I said, I wasn't sure. And I thought, well, I'll do teaching. And I liked all the classwork, the coursework. but not the actual teaching.
So now, when you student taught, what level was that on?
That was middle school, so that was probably my first problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, because from my teacher friends, they always say if you can teach middle school, you can do anything in life. Because apparently, with the hormones zinging and all the kids at that, those ages, it gets to be a little bit crazy. Was that what you sort of experienced?
Yes, yes. And, and I think I really do still like teaching. I mean, because, as a nurse and I've precepted other new nurses, I like that process. So it probably was the age of the kids.
So how far along were you at UMSL when you decided I don't want to be a teacher anymore?
3 semesters.
So you were like what, like a second semester sophomore, I guess then? Would that be?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What did you just drop out at that point, or what did you do?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I was married, and it was like, okay, so then it was like, well, we'll start having kids. So then I was a stay-at-home mom for a little bit, and that was just, it was kind of crazy.
So when did you go to nursing school?
I didn't go to nursing school till I was 40. So
really,
So when I divorced, I of course needed some kind of income, and let me back up. Prior to that, also I worked for RSI Kitchen and Bath. I did some design work, so I designed kitchens and baths, worked with contractors in house. That was really fun. That was got creative juices flowing. But then we, like I said, the divorce came along, and I was like, what am I going to do? So I started working for Dr. Goldschman at the eye center, just in the office, and his surgical tech was going out for, I think, 4 months, and he's like, I'll train you. So we worked together. He trained me, and I loved it. It got into my blood, and it never left. So I was a surgical tech for years, and then decided to go back to school to be a nurse, just simply out of, practical reasons for making more money doing what I loved.
So what nursing school did you go to?
I went to St. Charles Community College.
Oh, no kidding.
It was a great program, still is. That's where my oldest, the 28-year-old, that's where he graduated from, and he followed in my footsteps. He's a nurse in the operating room.
No, hold it. Is your 28-year-old a guy or a gal?
He's a guy.
A guy, a male nurse.
Was born a guy, is still a guy.
So he's a nurse as well too?
Yeah.
And he's a registered nurse working ORs, working operating room?
He is, yeah.
No,
yeah, he's amazing.
How long's he done that?
About 2.5 years. An interesting story here too is, so his last semester of nursing school, they allowed him to come into the SSM has a program where you basically can learn to earn, and he, I got to precept him. I taught him his last semester of nursing school, everything there was, I think, to know about the OR, but I'm a little biased. But yeah, that was really neat to be able to do that with him.
Now, you mentioned a term a couple times. Let me ask you, precept. Explain what that means.
Oh, precepting is basically like mentorship. You're teaching the new grad or the new nurse. Because some nurses come into the operating room, they've been nurses for a long time, but the operating room is a different beast. It's a lot different than floor nursing.
Now, we'll talk about that in a minute because that's what you do. You were an OR nurse. Now, as doing as you call it, the precept, do you ever have fun with them when you play games with say, now, when you do this, you got to hold the Q-tip at a 45-degree angle. Do you ever do things like that to sort of, punk the new nurses?
Not right away.
A little down the road, huh?
I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say right away. Because I myself was punked. I'll tell you about that later, too.
Okay, interesting. Okay, now, currently, and we won't mention what hospital. Maybe down the road, if we do this again and you get clearance on that, we'll mention which hospital. But you are an operating room nurse, which means you're right in there with the surgeon. What exactly does an operating room nurse do?
Well, There's a couple different roles. There's something called a circulator, and the circulator is just that. She's circulating the room. She's keeping an eye on everything. She's documenting. She's not sterile in the sterile field, so she's running to get extra supplies if they need it during the case. And then there's the scrub nurse, who, of course, is exactly what it says. She's scrubbed in, and she is up there surgically, sterilely with the surgeon and the first assist and the team, and handing the instruments to the surgeon.
So is that what you're doing?
I can do both.
So you do both?
Yes. And currently, though, no. I have done both. Currently, though, in my role, I am a charge nurse. And so we have typically anywhere from 15 to 18 rooms running. And my job is to keep the day running smoothly.
So you're not actually in the operating room anymore. You're sort of like a supervisor kind of person?
Yes, it's called a charge nurse. So, yeah.
Right. Okay. So when you first started working in the operating room, I know a lot of people go like, oh, does that take a while to get used to when you're seeing people essentially being cut open and the doctors inside people's bodies working on things and stuff like that?
Yes and no. So, I mean, you either like it or you don't, and pretty quickly. But I mean, you're not right up there with all the cutting right away. I mean, most people, when they come into the operating room as a nurse, they're circulating. They're learning how to be a circulator. And, because there's processes and procedures to go along with that. And there's an order and everything. So, you get that down first. And then if you want to learn to scrub, that's certainly, encouraged and open.
Interesting. Now, as far as the field for nurses, is there still a shortage of nurses? Because I know for a while they're talking about, there's so many nurses jobs that are open. Is that still the case?
I have a difference of opinion. I don't think there's a shortage of nursing. I think there's a shortage of nurses who still want to do that job. It's mentally and physically draining, and especially nowadays, with the increase of even physical, what's the word, abuse from even patients. You see a lot of it in the news of nurses being injured and or unfortunately murdered. And so there's, in my opinion, no, there's not a shortage of nursing. There are tons of nursing programs. There are tons of nurses that are being put out into the workforce. I think it's just a matter of how many of them really want to continue and stay in that field. So a lot of people disagree with me, but that's just my opinion.
Is it a burnout factor, what you're sort of saying?
Absolutely. Especially since COVID. I have my niece, she was in nursing school during COVID. So her programming was a little bit different. Her availability to do clinicals. Yeah, the burnout is, especially for nurses who go into fields like the emergency room. That's for both nurses and physicians. I mean, I don't know the exact statistics, but I think typically a physician will only last about 3 to 5 years in the ER.
Really?
Before moving on to something else. No
kidding. I guess, and it depends upon which emergency rooms you're working at. Now, the hospital you work at is not one of the, what is it, level 1, level 2, level 3, is that as far as the ERs? Is that how they do it?
Correct. Yeah, we're not any trauma level.
So level 1 would be like Big Mercy out there at 270 in Dallas, and then I guess Barnes Jewish in the city, where those are both level 1s, correct?
Yes.
Where they're seeing the, and let's, try to put it nicely because it's breakfast. They're seeing the gunshot wounds. They're seeing the horrific industrial and car accidents and stuff like that.
Yeah, they see the big stuff.
Yeah.
I was going to say, DePaul Hospital used to be a level 2. They are no longer, and that's an SSM. I think SSM has 5 facilities around the St. Louis area, but also, the Mercy, the BJC and the SSM, those are, they have facilities other than Missouri as well. I mean, they're full systems.
Right. Now, as far as also what you do and why you're in a leads group, you're not in there trying to get people to come into your operating room. You're trying to get people to refer you for your business, which is, I'm leading you into that. How you like that?
Yes. Oh, thank you. You do so good. Like you've done this for years, Brad.
I've done it a few times.
Childress LNC, which is legal nurse consulting. And about a year ago, I really thought to myself, okay, there is going to be a day and time that I also cannot or maybe want to work in the hospital system, but I wanted to still be able to make an impact and advocate for people. And so doing that, working with attorneys and, really making sense of the medical records in their cases, whether it's a personal injury case or a medical malpractice case, my eyes and my experience helps them make sense of that so that they can better, facilitate their role in the legal realm for their clients.
So you're doing like case review for attorneys? Is that essentially what it is?
Yes. Case review, and then taking that medical record and putting it into chronological order and really just making it make sense for them, seeing if there was any gap in the care that should have been given or was given, anything that should or shouldn't have been done, looking at documentation, all these electronic medical records, they're all time stamped. And I try to educate and tell people, document in real time. Don't do anything before and after.
So essentially what you're doing, like let's say scenario, you work for an attorney and he has a case where someone's in a car accident and you would essentially go through all the records of when let's say they were transported by EMS, you would have all the records for the emergency room. Let's say they were admitted to the hospital. You would have all those and you would go through those and essentially put those into a report for the attorney then.
That's correct.
And
you got it.
Is that hard?
No, it's not hard. I mean, it can take some time, depending on the amount of pages. Sometimes there can be thousands of pages.
Really? What's the biggest case you ever worked on as far as like page volume is concerned?
I would say probably 700.
Really? And so when you get done with your report, you're submitting 700 pages to the attorney?
No. They have those already. The medical records, I'm getting those from the attorney.
I gotcha. So in other words, what you're doing is you're summarizing that. You're putting together like a summary of all the information, which is in all the electronic medical reports, as you call it, EMR, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you a weird question. In a hospital, how many acronyms do you deal with in a day? EMR, EMS, all that kind of stuff. Is it to the point where...
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't even keep track of it.
But it's you speak a language that other people don't speak.
Yes, absolutely. And that's another thing too is, the attorneys and a lot of them have their paralegals. If this is something that they're doing a lot, they're somewhat versed in the medical terminology. But yeah, that's a big part of what I do is, basically a translator as well. Because again, they don't know the medical terminology.
Now, do you also essentially pick up on things that you say, okay, there was a mistake here, the doctor should have done this, or there was a mistake here, this medication should or should not have been given? Is it that kind of stuff as well, too?
Sometimes. Mostly right now, what I'm doing is just, reviewing and setting up timelines and chronological. But yes, as legal nurse consultants, because that area has grown. Again, going back to nurses doing something other than bedside, this is an avenue that is allowing them to utilize their skills and still, earn an income. And so that is something that it's a growing field.
We're talking with Bridgette Childress, and I don't know if I told you this, but I put myself through college as police dispatcher. If I said common spelling of Bridgette and Childress, would that be correct? So, or do you have some weird spelling of both your names?
Nothing out of the ordinary. It's two T's and an E. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Because
Oh, well, yeah.
you know what I mean. I mean,
Yeah. No, it's the long version. So my parents really wanted me to, and then Childress, Childress.
now your company is called. What's your company called?
Childress, LNC, and that's Legal Nurse Consulting. But when you look it up, it's on the website. It's childresslnc.com.
And that's how people can get a hold of you. If an attorney or somebody like a paralegal or someone knows in this field, hey, let's call her and see if she can help us out, right?
Absolutely. And, what I actually, and I guess it goes back to that education piece is I think, and because I've been thinking about this for a while, I would love just to go in and to young attorneys or even into UMSL or different law programs and do a little lunch and learn or something,
Essentially, give them information on what you do, or explain that a little bit more.
Yes, exactly.
So you're doing like a sales pitch is what you're doing to them, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Well,
more so the education piece of, like for them to, there's help for them of it. There's myself and other, nurses that are doing this. Like they don't have to go at it alone, basically.
Gotcha. Bridgette, you know what? I have to tell you, you are a trooper. I brought this up on Friday, and you contacted immediately. Are you feel okay with this? Are you scared about doing this right now? Should I ask you this?
I will tell you, I am a little nervous. I kept clearing my throat before we came on. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I have to cough? What if I have to? So, but you just make things so easy.
Oh,
and,
get out of here.
It's been fun.
Well, I sent you that whole course of how to do a radio interview, and I sent you the video and all that stuff. You watched all that, correct?
No. Are you pulling my leg? Wait a minute. What did I miss?
Oh, no. Well, the interesting thing about that is that when I do this, I'll give you a little bit behind the scenes. If I'm doing an interview sometimes for a corporate person, and I've had this happen many times, like if I'm dealing with like a comms person or for, like especially a lot of these corporations, they'll say, now we need a list of the questions you're going to ask. And I said, I won't know the questions I'm going to ask until we get into the interview. And they'll go, well, you mean you don't prepare? And I go, no. I just wing it. As a matter of fact, there's an interesting story about if you go back into the history of television, Johnny Carson would never meet with any of his guests beforehand. They would not have rehearsals because he wanted to have everything be spontaneous and really sound, like it was just happening, which it was. And I'm not in any league of Johnny Carson, but I've always believed in that as well, too, that a good interview is one where you sound like you're the third person sitting next to two people just having a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, and you know what? Then and like you said, it's authentic, it's genuine, and it's just like, hey, let's go have a cup of coffee, and because that's what I'm doing. I was so excited. I have my coffee here. I'm sitting in my son's room because he's got all the equipment, and I'm just enjoying this moment. So
okay,
this is cool.
And here's the crazy thing with our Friday morning networking group. Have you ever done? I think they do it today. Have you ever done the virtual one where they do it where everybody just gets on Zoom instead of meeting in person at the Rack House? Have you ever done that one?
No, unfortunately, I've always been working, and they do it Tuesday mornings.
Is it Tuesday mornings? Okay, Tuesday mornings.
Yeah, and so actually yesterday, occasionally I will also, my friend Monica, longtime friend, we went to grade school together, and but she has a show, and I was finishing up a show yesterday with her, and so I couldn't get on the virtual call because I haven't been on that yet with our Friday networking group, but it's Tuesday mornings.
Are you talking about your friend Monica Adams?
Yeah, love that girl.
I go way back with her because, believe it or not, in my former life of doing traffic reports and things like that, doing news, she used to work at WIL a long time ago. Isn't that the same Monica Adams? Yes,
it is.
Yes.
Yeah. So I am her Tuesday Testament Tuesday sponsor for her show, and I go on once a month with her.
Really? Now, what's that involve?
Oh, so I actually go to the studio. So, like, if you go, she's it's all on all the social media platforms. So, and she does have her YouTube channel, but and that stays up for forever. So that, like, the Facebook, the Instagram, all those other social media platforms, those I think stay up for just 30 days. But I I go into the studio and we just talk about faith. We talk about, just things like yesterday's show was about this stage of my life of kind of almost being an empty nester and how I don't see it as an empty space. It's a place for new growth. And it's kind of like being, I don't want to say born again, but like I have my time back, right? As a 55-year-old woman, not having to worry about dinners and small kids and baseball, soccer games, all that kind of stuff anymore. Like I can a little bit selfishly think about me again.
So you don't think about your husband at all?
Oh, every once in a while. No. And Bill is so great. I am so blessed. Like they were asking at work because I do pick up extra shifts and they're like, are you okay with that? I'm like, yeah, like I don't have small kids. My husband's retired. Like I'm in a different stage of my life where I'm really fortunate. And so, yeah, life is good right now.
Cool. Bridgette, one more time, give a plug for your business. How can people get a hold of you? Web address, if you got a phone number, all that kind of good stuff?
Yeah, so it's Childress, Childress, LNC.com. And my phone number is 636-698-3780. And you can also reach me on LinkedIn or I don't have a business Facebook page, but you can always message me or you can find me some way.
You're a brave woman, and I appreciate you doing this. And hopefully you've broken the ice because of the fact that what I'm trying to do with this radio station is obviously I'm a business person, have been for a long time, owning these stations and owning other businesses through the years. Essentially, I've been self-employed since 1984, a long time. And what I'm trying to do is through our radio stations, and what I do is promote other people's businesses. So hopefully now that I've got you on here and we did this show and I'd be able to say, hey, Bridgette did it. If Bridgette can do it, anybody can do it, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it is, I'm going to tell you guys, it's really easy. It's, I had the help of my 17-year-old, but once he showed me how to do it and with, Brad's guidance and really setting everything up, it's easy peasy. Just you hit that easy button.
Well, a little behind the scenes, which I thought was sort of interesting. You texted me on Sunday afternoon. I'm thinking to myself, okay, am I the only guy that's working on Sunday afternoon? And you essentially texted me on Sunday afternoon and said, hey, because we're doing this over a connection. We're doing this over Microsoft Teams. I think I have to legally mention that. And the old Skype. And what we had a couple issues, and we got it all sorted out. And to the point where, after the initial you contacted me on Sunday, I think about an hour after that, we had it all done. And essentially we said, okay, we're good for Wednesday morning. And I'm thinking to myself, after that, wow, I'm impressed with her because she's working on Sunday. But see, that's the interesting thing. You're in a field, and it's to the point where, like, my life cycle is when I was in high school, I worked in the restaurant business. I worked at Steak and Shake. Then when I was in college, I put myself through college as a police dispatcher. And for the past 54 years, I've been in the radio business. So it's to the point where Sunday is just like any other day to me. It's just another day to work. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And when you love what you do, and I know this sounds so cliche, but when you love what you do, right? It's not work.
I couldn't agree with you more. And it's to the point where people make fun of me because of the fact that I very rarely take vacations. And I say to myself, why do I need to take vacation? I enjoy what I do every day. Well, most days at least. Some days, lately, some days are like, not that good. Anyway, Bridgette, thanks again.
And I think too, just one other point. I think going back to that, as somebody who owns my own business, like you said, there's not a day that you're not working either on or in your business.
Right. And to the point where a successful business person, and I'm not trying to say if you start a business, maybe there are people out there who can do this, but if you start a business and if you don't ever think you have to work weekends or nights or anything like that, you're probably not in a real business. You're probably, I shouldn't say that because people are going to say, well, I own a business. Because there's somebody in the group who I shall not mention who used to be in another field, and now he's in a field where he says he never works weekends anymore. And the interesting part of that is I said to him, so you never get a call like on Saturday and Sunday? Oh, yeah, but I don't have to go into the office. Well, sir, you're sort of working. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Bridgette, Appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're my first guinea pig, and believe it or not, I'm not going to mention who it is, but I have a 10 o'clock appointment with someone else to talk about doing this. And are you up for doing this again maybe in the future?
Absolutely.
And
you know where to reach me.
Well, and if we can do the thing with your sister who's the nurse, maybe we can move this over to to Zoom where we can do multiple people. she can be at her place, you can be at your place, we can be on the air together. And you said she's like a regular stand-up comedian. Can she do like what they call a tight 10 minutes of stand-up for me? Is that possible?
Oh, I'm sure she probably could because she has kept her nursing license. She doesn't currently practice. She's actually in real estate, but her and her partner Donna, they're partners in the same real estate office out there in Washington, Missouri. They are hilarious, and I mean, I don't understand why they are not doing stand up.
You got to watch out for those people who live in Washmo. I'm telling you, you watch out for them. Those Washmo people are a little bit different, shall we say. Bridgette, appreciate it. Thank you so much. You helped me do the first one, and we'll see what happens past this point, and we'll move on down the road. Thank you again.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, everyone.